Looking at what a 30-year fixed rate mortgage will cost you, about 5.5% these days. Rock bottom rates, but again, the big question is, can people get a mortgage with lending standards tightening, continuing to tighten? And we're going to ask that question. So you've got falling mortgage rates, people rushing to refinance. Are people even bottom fishing here? What does all this mean for the housing market? Well, we have somebody on the ground to answer that question. Joe Milkus is an appraiser in Dallas, along with our very own Liz McDonald, Fox Business stocks editor. Thanks, both of you.
Sure.
To you first, Joe, you are on the ground. You were an appraiser. What are you seeing in terms of, you're in Texas, of housing prices falling? Are you appraising homes for lower and lower values?
Yes, I think in many suburban, particularly in suburban markets, we're seeing a decline in values, expansion areas where there's new subdivisions located and quite a bit of competition. There's definitely a downward trend.
Now, I remember we talked months ago. There was, in previous years, there was pressure on you to appraise properties higher. Now, well, on the downside, we're going in the other direction in terms of home prices. Is there pressure on you to lower prices more aggressively?
Well, where the pressure comes from are foreclosing lenders that want to dispose of the property. They're trying to find where the market is, and consequently, they want to move the property out. Now there's pressure on them to get the property off the books, and they want to have a price level where they can move it, and sometimes that does result in appraisers feeling pressure to do that. More frequently, they're not using appraisers. They're actually getting what's called broker opinion of value. They're retaining brokers to dispose of the property and having them estimate where they think the market is.
Joe, one quick question before you bring Liz in here. What are foreclosures? Are you seeing a dramatic jump in foreclosures in your area? And what are foreclosures doing on to other property prices in neighborhoods?
Well, it really depends on the specific market. In the Dallas area, the situation is not as bad as California. We didn't see the price run up to the extent that California did, and likewise, the downturn hasn't been nearly as dramatic. Some neighborhoods have probably been affected more than others.
Yeah, Liz, what do you make of that? Because you've had this dramatic jump in people trying to refinance, but with home prices falling, what kind of results are people getting?
What's happening is people can't use their falling house, the houses that have fallen in value as collateral for their loans. So we're seeing some difficulty on the part of borrowers in trying to refinance. We actually see dramatic increase, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association, of the refinancing application index. It's up something like 66% since July. So that's dramatic. We're also seeing a sharp drop-off in adjustable rate mortgage. They made up about a quarter of the market since then. They're now at about a tenth. So dramatic decrease in adjustable rate mortgages, a good sign for the banks because the ARMs, tend to create credit problems on the bank's balance sheet. So when you get rid of those, you can hope that the credit ratings of the overall asset picture of the banks may improve. So I'm looking for the silver linings, clearly.
We're, of course, looking for the bottom of this market.
That's right.
Can we peg a bottom somewhere? Joe Milkus is already on the appraisal front. He's saying we haven't got the bottom there yet. We're still dropping prices.
I don't think we've hit the bottom.
Go ahead, Joe.
I don't think we've hit the bottom. Right. I think there's still more property to burn off, more people hanging in there by their fingernails. And, generally when this happened back in the 80s, it took some time for the bottom of the market to be found.
Okay, now, Liz, you just talked about a pickup in refi business, in mortgage applications generally.
Applications, whether or not they're getting the loans, that's another data point that we need to get. But, we do have some data on, in other words, viewers and all of us are trying to get a grip on when are we going to see the bottom in housing, because that's when we may see the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel. We know that David Rosenberg at Merrill Lynch, top economist there, had said that, the home prices skyrocketed 130% from 04 through 06. I mean, he's only seen it coming down by about 30%. We're still in the beginning, early stages of this. I'd like to see a revision in that number. Hopefully soon he will revisit it and update it.
Hey, quickly, Joe, just one last question. With people who are struggling to pay their mortgages, is it because of rate resets that you're seeing, or is it just they just bought too much house and the payments are just too big?
Well, I think with some people, they took on more than they should have. In other cases, people are having financial difficulties of their own and just not able to make the payments. And then, as you very well pointed out in all your commentaries I've seen on your news, that the lenders were probably too generous with the terms they gave, and people were too willing to take it, and just didn't think through the implications of the interest rate being adjusted upward, that they might not be able to handle the payments.
Liz McDonald, thank you very much.
People were betting on...
Sorry, Joe. We're coming up to what's called a hard break. Sorry about that. But Joe Milkes, we do appreciate your input. Come back and join us again soon. Joe, thank you.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Sure.